Mike Brennan. Then we're doing another segment of the MITech TV, and we have with us Jennifer Randall, who's the Vice President of Marketing for Optilogic. There's a big event going down this week, this week being the first week in June, and I'll have her explain a little bit about what Optilogic is and what the event is, and then we'll kind of get into some more questions. So take it away, Jennifer.
Thank you, Mike, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thanks for listening in. I'll start out by telling you just a little bit about Optilogic. We are an Ann Arbor-based supply chain tech company, and what we do is that large companies around the world use our software to create virtual models of their supply chains. So that means on a computer, they would input information about their customers, their products, their demand, their costs, all these things to create these virtual models, not just of the current supply chain, how their supply chain looks right now, but hundreds or thousands of possibilities for what it might look like in the future. And they can test those changes, potential changes, across things like financials, across service levels, so like how fast they can get their product to customers, things like risk, right? So obviously you want to be able to consider whether you're going to put a factory right next to a town with really high propensity of hurricane damage, right? Or sustainability. For many businesses, sustainability has become a really important factor, and companies want to evaluate, okay, so if I use less water or less packaging in my products, what does that do in terms of cost to my company, right? And many other factors customers like to evaluate too.
So
And of course,
basically, you set up almost a virtual company in this software, right? And you have suppliers and customers both.
well, it is kind of like that, yeah. The information that we're using is a mix of data that's currently available about the supply chain right now and historical data about what did I do in the past. But sometimes we're also using information where we're creating information and data about what might happen in the future. So kind of like simulating that, okay, if I were to make this change, if I were to move a factory here or change a transportation lane or change an inventory policy, what would that mean for customer service? What it would mean for delivery time frames? So yes, we are using existing data, but often creating data about a supply chain that doesn't exist yet.
Hmm.
It sounds like AI to me. Is AI involved in this?
It is. It definitely is. We do have AI embedded into our software. We also have an natural language AI assistant called Leapfrog in our product. And by the way, our product is called Cosmic Frog. We like to have a little bit of fun with supply chain technology along with all the smart stuff. So yeah, our Leapfrog tool is a great way for people who don't have a lot of experience with our technology, or even people who do, just helping them to do things faster by just using natural language prompts. So they don't have to necessarily do as much of the technical stuff in the background.
Hmm. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this event you have upcoming. It's essentially your big user conference, right? What's it called? When is it? Where is it?
That's right. We call this Opticon. I'm sure you can tell where we got that name. Our company is
Yeah,
Optilogic.
it sounded familiar, so,
Yeah.
but yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I get them mixed around in my head sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But Opticon is our annual supply chain design conference. It is planned and created for our existing customers, but we also invite any practitioners of supply chain design anywhere to come and join the event. So we have several prospective customers that come. We have many consulting partners that use our software and that partner with us that are going to be there. And we also have some outside keynote presenters on some really fascinating topics that I can tell you about coming. But yeah, this is a fast growing company. And so our event grows every year. And we're happy to be having our event this year at One Campus Martius Elevate at that location. It's a beautiful facility way up high with a beautiful view. So we're looking forward to our evening reception there tomorrow.
So tell me about some of the people who will be presenting at this conference.
Yeah, so we have, first of all, on Wednesday, which is our big main day, we have some really interesting keynote presenters that will be joining us. First of all, we have our CEO, Don Hicks. He will be presenting on the importance of supply chain design in this world that we live in today, right? With this unprecedented uncertainty and change going around the world. How do you create winning supply chains despite all that stuff happening? So there's lots and lots to talk about that topic, right? But then we also have a couple of world-renowned, really experts on some topics that are directly affecting supply chains nowadays at a macro level. One of them is Michael O'Sullivan, and he is an economist and he's an author of a book called The Leveling, where he talks about the end of globalization, right? There's lots going on with our politicians around the world and with governments and wars, and all these things dramatically affect not only supply chains today, but those of the future. So
Hmm.
that will be a very interesting talk for our users. And then we also are lucky to have Professor Sarah Harper attending our conference. She's coming in from the UK. She is a global population expert who's at Oxford University. And you wouldn't necessarily automatically think that talking about global birth rates and population declines and spikes in places like, the Western globe, as well as places like India and Africa, would be at a supply chain conference, but those are very important topics to consider when thinking about demand as well as labor available in these different places around the world. So we're really happy to have both of those keynote presenters with us to talk on Wednesday. And then we
Yeah, and
have
there's
our
also,
customers too.
I'm sorry, there's also a little local company called General Motors that's one of the main stage presenters too, right?
I've heard of
That's
them,
right.
yeah. So,
And
Yes.
any idea what they'll be talking about?
Yeah, so General Motors is one of our customers, and it's another reason why being in Detroit for this conference is so special, having a hometown customer here to participate in our conference. General Motors will be speaking on Wednesday about why supply chain design is critical to their business and what they've been able to achieve so far using our technology. So we're really looking forward to hearing from them.
So
let me ask. Go ahead,
tell me a
Matt.
little bit about the origins of your company. When was this company founded and by whom? And tell us a little bit about the growth.
Sure. Yeah, so our company was founded several years ago by our CEO, Don Hicks, who has lots of prior experience in the industry of supply chain design. He founded
Lamasoft is the same guy,
company Lamasoft.
Lamasoft? Oh, yeah,
That's
I know
right. Yep.
Don. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, anybody who's familiar with tech companies in Detroit and Ann Arbor area generally knows Don. So yeah, so Don wanted to do it again. He's really passionate about the supply chain design space, not only from a technology perspective, but of just how the potential of that technology to just make the world a better place, right? Not only for our big industry customers, but also for nonprofit associations who use our technology to deliver things like medicines and vaccines. So our company was founded originally as a development platform built from the ground up. It was built, unlike other solutions in the industry, it was built to be totally in the cloud from the start. So that gives us many advantages. Obviously, it allows us to make the technology faster, easier to collaborate with, and there's
24/7. You can develop it from anywhere in the world. Yep. That's the new thing. So.
24/7, and it also allows us to push out improvements on just a continuous basis instead of old legacy systems where you would generally have a major update every year or so. So it's really exciting.
Oh. Okay. The event, is it open to the public, or is it a private event, or what's happening?
It's a private event. But as I said before, we had been happy to invite anybody who was interested in learning more about supply chain design. Um, we promoted it to sort of a niche audience, right? People who practice design and who are our customers and our partners. But it's still, we're really proud that we are the fastest growing community of supply chain design practitioners in the world right now. So yeah, we will be starting off tomorrow evening and having 2 really full days of customer presentations. We also have live training courses so that our customers can learn to be more confident and effective using our technology.
Okay, Matt, any
So,
final
so I
questions?
was just curious. One final question for me was, there's so much uncertainty, one might say chaos, in the business world today,
Yeah.
and how are you and your customers responding to that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for us, although we, like any other, business and people around the world, it's tough, right? It's hard to know what's coming next, and how this is going to affect businesses and the economy. But at the same time, it's really good for our business because this is what we created our software for, to help businesses navigate these times of uncertainty. And it's during these times when, for example, companies are wondering, gosh, what's the next tariff policy that's going to hit, for example, we were able to really quickly spin up a tariff optimizer and put it out there for our customers so that they could evaluate potential tariff changes and what it means to their business, and put together strategies to mitigate those risks. So it's a good time to be in the industry that we're in right now and be able to help companies navigate that uncertainty.